Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the Kaiju Sentai Ultraranger special.
Oh boy.
That's right. We all got you in here. Fuck you.
Go fuck out. I'm leaving!
So instead of talking about Ultraman's past, present, and future, and all kaiju in between, we're just here to talk about motherfucking Godzilla!
Oh boy.
And also some other kaiju as well.
Yes!
So Gar, what are we here to talk about?
Well, first off, I am your host, Ultra Yellowcaster AutoGar.
And I'm your co-host, Ultra Freecaster Lane.
And I'm your third host, Cell. And today we're going to be talking about the 1998 Godzilla film, directed by Roland Emmerich.
Yeah!
Oh,
Fuck yeah!
The greatest of Godzilla.
I mean, yeah.
So we have our...
That's a lot of shit.
And join us afterwards for our live stream / playthrough of the Godzilla on PS4.
The greatest Godzilla game.
A family picture.
So we have a few guests on this episode, this special episode. We have Dreamcaster Emily, Northcaster Cell, Greencaster Paul, and Redcaster Raven.
Yeah, I'm here.
Much to his dismay.
Bluecaster kinda
Failed.
let's
not
talk about that.
Yeah.
For those at home, he's okay.
He is okay.
He is okay, but we're just not going to get into it.
Sure.
But so we just got back from seeing Godzilla King of the Monsters
In IMAX.
And
that was great.
It was a good movie.
Great.
It was solid as fuck. Really fucking solid.
Like
Christ.
Yeah.
Savage Caster said it best. He's like, if you're a hardcore Godzilla fan, you will love this movie.
He also
I
talked a
love
lot of
this
shit
movie.
about it. He also talked a lot of shit about it, which I don't agree with. But
That's
Yeah.
Tom.
Uh,
That's Tom.
quickly go around the room. What did everyone think of the 2014 movie?
fine.
I still like it.
it's alright.
I liked the 11 minutes in it that had Godzilla.
Sure.
I liked even more the 5 minutes we got Bryan Cranston.
Quite frankly, I just thought that that movie was what everyone keeps saying this movie is. Well, the opposite of it. Too much. The original movie was too much human drama, not enough of the kaiju. This, a lot of people are saying too much of the kaiju, not enough human drama. I wholeheartedly disagree.
I don't get that.
I don't get that either.
I really think they struck a good balance on
Yeah,
that.
me too.
I
I
had
think-
enough human stuff and enough of monsters.
I think this is.
great balance.
Do you know what it did? Do you know what they did do, which I did like, that kind of qualifies for this statement? They took out all the stupid scenes of government bureaucracy.
Yeah, they left that to Shin Godzilla.
You didn't see a lot of Alan
Ew.
Sorkin, walking through hallways, talking
Yeah.
intense.
Mr.
stuff.
President, what should we do about Godzilla?
Not a lot of that.
They-
Almost none.
They literally started the movie with a fucking scene where the whole organization that all the main characters work for was going, basically, fuck the government, we're not telling you shit.
Well, fuckers.
First,
That was literally the start of the movie.
I will say this.
quick note before we say anything else. We are going to be trying to keep this as spoiler free as possible.
I was actually going to say, we're going to do... we'll tell you when we're going to spoilers, so let's do non-spoilers for about 10-15 minutes.
Yeah,
or whatever.
10,
Sure.
10 15 minutes of
I'll
non-spoilers.
say this, too, though. I probably still prefer Kong as a movie.
Oh,
I
Kong
have
Skull
not
Island?
seen it yet.
You'd like it. It's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
It felt more that. See,
And I'll admit I'm
That comes down
biased
to
because
preference.
Kong's my boy.
that comes down to preference.
No, exactly.
Kong was a great Kong movie. This is a great Godzilla movie. The first Godzilla movie, it didn't hit her stride like it really should have.
The problems I had with,
awesome
with this
Godzilla.
movie, and so I'm not going to say it's a perfect movie.
Of course not.
I'll wait till the spoiler section. But
Mhm.
there are problems, suffice to say. But what was great about it, oh my god, this might be the best looking movie I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
The
it's awesome.
colors.
Oh.
It's
The
shot beautifully.
Yeah, the
And like,
cinematography.
and you have to, if you're gonna go see this movie, go see it in IMAX because the sound is just like you feel every roar, you feel every fucking boom, every crash.
It's worth it just for that.
Do you know what I'm?
Yeah,
do
the
you know what
fucking
I'm-
charge up.
Do you know what I'm gonna say? And I never thought I'd ever say this, but I'm gonna say this to you, Sal.
Yes.
You and I went to go see Battle Angel Alita in Screen X.
Oh,
Oh
Oh, why did
This-
you do that?
This I love Battle Angel
no.
Alita.
Oh no. He's talking about the screen though.
Yeah, in terms of the screen, I don't know. This might actually work.
No, because there still will be a giant fucking exit sign, like
I
where
know.
Godzilla's head is.
Well, that's really low in the screen, but
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm curious.
If you could actually watch it in an actual panoramic circle,
that'd be
cool.
brilliant.
But not with the fucking like lines in the walls.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I would like to see this on a panoramic screen.
That'd be cool.
One thing I will say, this is my first IMAX movie that I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah. So when I walked in, this screen intimidated me.
It's huge.
Like I just saw it and I'm like, oh dear.
Yeah, no, it's a big
My
screen.
first IMAX movie was Tron Legacy.
Dude,
Oh, that would have been awesome. I would have loved
that
it.
would be.
But like I was kind of like intimidated and feared before the movie started, but then once the movie started going, I'm like, okay, I'm fine, I'm good.
No, it's great. Once it comes on, you realize it's just a movie screen.
Yeah.
You kind of adjust to the size of it.
And I was gonna say, I would recommend if you are a Godzilla fan, because I think we can't really talk about this movie anymore without getting into spoilers. So,
Yeah,
so I'm gonna say, if you have any interest in seeing this, I'd say stop listening to us now.
Yeah.
Because anything else we can talk about is gonna be spoiler.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, like you can't. This is why I don't really believe in the whole non-spoiler spoiler movie. Because it's like no matter what, we gotta talk about like.
No, that's what I'm saying. Just I'm giving people the option.
Yeah.
I'll say this: if you think you'll like this movie, you'll probably like this movie.
Yeah.
If you're on the fence, the idea that there is no human like drama is, I would say, false. I'll say this: it is cliche.
Oh,
So if you're not into cliches,
What I would say is before we get into spoiler territory, let's just each go around the table and give just a concise statement / blurb about where we stand on it critically.
Okay.
Not in terms of
This
like.
movie specifically.
yes.
Yes.
Right.
Sure.
So-
You go first, Paul.
Me?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're talking.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, fine. I thought that this was a solid looking fucking movie. I did think that the characters were a touch cliche. Once you like get the feel of each character, you know where they're gonna go. There's nothing that really takes you by incredible surprise in this movie. But once you actually figure out where it's going, they are an enjoyable bunch of characters, and each of them do have a full decent arc. Like, people start in one place, a bunch of stuff happens, and then they develop into something completely different at the end that thinks completely differently. Well-rounded, robust characters. I can't believe that I have to emphasize that they did this because it should always just be that way. But unfortunately, this is Hollywood, so we don't always get that. Here, I'm going to say this is a very simple movie. It looks extremely extravagant for how simple the story is, but it throws in some cool homages to the original movies in there, and it's intelligently written, so characters are great, and the kaiju fights are fucking top-notch. Best I've ever seen.
Raven.
As somebody who does enjoy Godzilla movies and has watched a decent amount of them, it was so much fun watching this. It really was. Just all the little homages, all the little references to past things and stuff from old Japanese Godzilla films. The monster fights looked amazing. They really did.
Oh, spoilers! We didn't know there were monster fights in this movie.
Oh, boy.
No, it's the last one that didn't have any monster fights. I'm
Right?
kidding.
I had
Last one
to,
did
I
have
had
monster
to.
No, I
fights.
know.
It was good.
But yeah, no, and like I said before, the human drama stuff, it felt like they struck a really good balance. It wasn't
Someone
there wasn't
eviscerate
like
their needle and...
it's okay.
Yeah,
There
it's
wasn't
okay.
like way too much of it, like there has been in some past movies. And Cell's right, Shin Godzilla had a crap ton of that.
In a good way, though.
In a good way, like it
These
made
are-
sense.
Like Shin Godzilla and this, like they're two very different movies, and they both work for their own way.
Yeah. But this is just
sorry.
a lot of fun moments, a lot of cool stuff happening left, right, and center. Just really enjoyable for me.
I personally think this movie is like it fixed all the problems that the 2014 Godzilla movie had, which is a good thing that a sequel should do. It was just a well-rounded, like pretty good movie. For the 65th anniversary, you could qualify this as the 65th anniversary project for Godzilla.
You could, yeah.
It's a good way to acknowledge like the whole his whole entire like franchise as a whole, It's like no matter what he'll always like keep coming back. It's a pretty solid movie. I liked it.
And they paid homage to the original creator, didn't they?
Yeah, at the very end.
Yeah, at the very end. We'll talk about that in the spoilers.
Emily?
Oh, I actually liked the 2014 one a lot. I know a lot of people said. I'm sorry, am I rambling?
No.
You literally
just
started.
Sorry. It was I actually liked it enough to see it in theaters twice, and my dad liked it enough that he elbowed me every time something cool happened and gave me an actual bruise on my shoulder that lasted for a month.
Oh, jeez.
So, hence he said, we need to see it so I can elbow you again. But this one was what everything that one was up to 11. The human characters were more defined and they balanced their story with the monsters a lot better. They were more interconnected than... I mean, there was merit in the whole being at the human level, but it was cool to have them more active in the plot. I'm sorry, that sounds pretentious.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
That's exactly what I was thinking, actually.
Yeah.
I'm kind of biased, but I'm really glad we got to see some other kaiju in this movie. I really like the Mutos, but I also wanted to see the legendary versions of these guys. And, of course, it has Mothra in it, and Mothra is my favorite kaiju of all time.
It's beautiful in this.
And
Yeah.
I will not lie, I was in literal tears every time she was on screen, and I'm not exaggerating. Like, when the freaking heavenly light comes
No,
and she
yeah.
opens her wings, I was just thinking, like, oh my god, Mothra.
Save it for the spoilers, dear.
Wait.
That's not a spoiler, that shot was
That's
in
in
the
the
trailer.
trailer.
Oh,
It is in the trailer.
Yes, in fact, I could even be
It's on the poster.
I actually felt that same
That's
thing when I
something.
saw the clip in the trailer, so that clip's in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Langford.
So for me, like about the 2014 Godzilla movie, like I liked it because I thought it was a good setup for like being like, okay, like, you know, there's this group of people who've been like keeping track of like Godzilla for like fucking years, and then like they've just been housing all these fucking kaijus and like, or Titans, sorry. But just this movie fucking was amazing.
For the purpose of this, you can refer to them as kaijus.
Yeah,
Don't
like
worry.
everything about it, like it felt like a Godzilla movie, like all because like me and Gar, we watched every single one,
Yeah.
and like everyone, like, you know, Cell and Paul were saying like, oh yeah, like, you know, the human characters and stuff was cliche, like the story was cliche. Exactly, that's what a Godzilla movie is.
Yeah.
It's exactly
Oh
what.
no,
a Godzilla
I wasn't
movie
saying
is.
that. Like I was just saying that's why critics are saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but just like everything, like the sound, like every time Ghidorah like showed up on screen, I just
Spoilers, like
I was terrified. He was terrifying.
He was scary in this.
It was
Yeah.
fucking awesome, and just like Godzilla was fucking great. And just like all the references, and like Emily was saying, Mothra was fucking gorgeous, and just I don't know. I love this movie a lot. Like it was like it again, like Emily said it best. It took 2014 Godzilla and just tuned it up to 11, and it hit everything. It hit everything right, I think.
This is one of the best sequels ever made. Pound for pound, when looking at it from the perspective of being a sequel.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Not one of the best movies ever.
Yeah,
made.
okay,
One
yeah,
of the
yeah.
best sequels.
I'll,
It's up there.
is it my turn?
Yeah,
Alright.
it's your turn.
Well, the movie had nothing on 98 Godzilla.
Well, duh.
The best film ever made.
The West here.
Like
What?
Herr Roland, you know. I love calling him that. For real? Okay, I'll play devil's advocate a little, and I want to preface this by saying I really enjoyed the movie. Does have problems, like everyone is,
yeah.
and you know what? That's fine. You all loving this, but I have to admit there are problems with the film.
Yeah.
Like
No movie's perfect.
no, exactly, and but I still thoroughly enjoyed it. If I had to say my one major complaint, I think this could have been trimmed by about 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's fair. I can see
Just
that.
cut out about 15 minutes, and then
Is there any specific part
you know, I think they just needed to cut down on like filler scenes, like a lot of like in between scenes.
Yeah,
you
I know. I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, like not like a whole scene, because again, I liked all the characters in this.
Probably everything with Emma.
You know how some scenes
No,
you know how some scenes tend to end in an action sequence, some scenes tend to end in a plot drop, and some scenes tend to end in a quippy line in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, cut down
on that. That's
two of the
again,
quippy lines.
15 minutes, not even.
Yeah.
Two of the quippy line scenes. You'd have been fine.
That would have been my biggest. That's my biggest complaint. Otherwise, this movie is que bella.
Oh jeez.
This is
All right. So everyone, we're going into spoilers in 3, 2, 1.
So, Darth Vader shows up out of nowhere.
Jesus
yeah.
Christ. Oh my god! And then goddamn Aang came down on Appa and started using his avatar power.
And when Thanos used the Reality Stone, like, oh my god.
Somehow Godzilla got his hand on the Infinity Gauntlet.
It was way too small.
He
for
snapped.
him.
He snapped.
He put it on like his fingernail.
He snapped his fingers, and then like a bunch of other Godzillas formed.
No, he just put it on his pinky and he just like pinged it against a building just ever so gently.
And then like behind him, all the other Godzillas came out like from all the movies, and they're all actually guys in
I would
suits.
want that.
And they're all walking like this.
But they were also zombies. Remember
If that
though.
actually happened like the Mega Man Final Smash,
Oh my
that
god.
would be
Yeah.
amazing if all the Godzilla
But
I want that
listen,
now.
listen. Unfortunately, Aku from Samurai Jack was the one who took the day. He came to this particular future, killed the shit out of all the kaiju, now it's just Samurai
when I
Jack.
just found out that King Ghidorah was just Aku in disguise. Like,
I know,
Yeah.
right?
damn it.
But
And now it's just Samurai Jack. Now it's just the sequel is just going to be a Samurai Jack.
Ken Watanabe as Samurai Jack. He did a fucking amazing job. Oscar winning.
Yeah,
for
spoilers.
Honestly,
No.
I'm completely like astounded now that you mention it that they haven't done a live action Samurai.
I would
Jack
adore-
They've been saying that for years. They were going
Keanu
to.
Reeves as Samurai Jack.
No.
No.
I can imagine that, and he wouldn't be
But-
that
But he was
bad.
in 47 Ronin.
That's not helping.
but speaking of Aku, bringing up sadly past actors, what really got me in the credits was just the tribute to Haru Nakajima.
Yeah, that was nice.
And also the part where it had Godzilla as himself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It
That
was
was weird.
The credits.
Like in the credits, like when you watch this, it's the funniest thing. It's like the cast, then it gets to Godzilla, Ghidorah, Rodan, Mothra as themselves. And I'm like, part of me is like, okay, that's cute, and part of me is like, well, fuck you. The real actors like didn't get credited.
Yeah, well, the motion captured
Which,
actors
here-
probably would.
You know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give them due. I'm gonna look it up who they were.
I know. I know
Just-
one of them, like the guy that did the main King Ghidorah head. He was in Rampage.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was the gorilla.
Can I just say?
Yeah, he was George.
Okay.
I really, really do hope that King Ghidorah is literally just a bunch of dragon heads on sticks covered in ping pong
Okay.
balls.
Here's who they were, just to give them actual credit.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. TJ Storm reprised his role as Godzilla.
I cannot believe the suit, the digital suit actor for Godzilla is named TJ.
His
Storm.
real name is Juan Ricardo Ojeda.
Oh,
So-
so this is just a stage name.
Yes.
He's just some guy who's calling himself TJ Storm.
Yes.
Sounds like
That's
a superhero
amazing.
name.
And while Ghidorah's heads were played by 3 people, obviously, Jason Lyles, Alan Maxson, and Richard Dorton, and Jason Lyles also did Rodan. I don't think Mothra had an actual, because she doesn't have like a...
She
More
wasn't
like-
she wasn't
more
really
like
that
a-
big.
It's more like a puppet with ping pong balls.
yeah.
So one thing that I want to bring up is how. Do you think a lot of people knew that Kong Skull Island was technically a sequel to Godzilla?
I mean, prequel.
Yeah, like a prequel.
I don't know how much people knew, but goddamn, you know what this movie now.
Yeah.
They mentioned him. I was so surprised how many times they brought up Kong.
Half
Yeah.
the end credits was
I'll
like,
just-
this is gonna be a.
I'll just say this right now, though. Both movies feature the organization Monarch, and the Monarch website has been like this weird Godzilla ARG.
That's
where,
where they first
like
announced,
they have
yeah.
like a globe, and like you can see Monarch files as they relate to points on the globe, and they change.
You can
so-
actually see where they are.
Yeah,
where the
you can
kaiju are.
you can track Godzilla and all these kaiju in real time on the Monarch website, and it's like this whole ARG connected to this game, to this movie.
That's
That's
so
cute.
cool.
Yeah,
That's where
they
they
went
first-
they went balls to the wall with this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, they mentioned Kong a lot in
Like
this
3
movie.
or 4 times.
Yeah.
Because not everyone
Hey,
was
we-
following the Monarch
Hey,
website.
hey, we've got to set up the fact that there's going to be a versus movie soon anyway.
No, I just like to think the whole time just Kong was just like on Skull Island singing in a lounge chair, just being like, no one else is on.
No, Lane, you were right. When okay, so something that happens in this movie that like there's an awakening of Titans, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And like we were all like, people were making the joke like, well, where's Kong in all this? And I was just saying, well, you know, Kong's a gorilla kaiju. They can't swim well. So I'm just picturing him like going to the water.
Just puts his toe in the water.
Like, oh, cold. Nope.
No, it's just
Storm.
it's just him as the Grinch when he's deciding to like go down to the fucking jubilation.
Oh my god.
Okay, I'm going. No, I'm not. No. That's it. I'm not going.
I'm not going.
Can you imagine King Kong and Leader Potion?
No, just see,
That'd be amazing.
no, sees pre-nuclear bomb Godzilla. I could take him. Sees post-nuclear bomb. Oh, fuck that!
That's the question. That is the question now. Now that Godzilla's like got superpowers.
Is that a permanent change?
I don't know because
No.
he did lose
I
it
think
at the
it
end.
was a
I
super
think.
form.
Yeah, no, he exhausted it. It was like
Okay, so
it's like
He took in a bunch of energy
For-
and he exhausted it.
for 5 or less minutes before we all just start jerking off all over Godzilla in this thing, I think we should talk about the humans
What?
for like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, but really?
I want to say this. I did like them. I really did.
yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And I want to bring up, this is not the first time I brought this up.
Mhm.
I love the fact that the Monsterverse is becoming a straight out of Compton reunion. Because in this movie, you got the guy Barnes, that's Ice Cube's son.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah,
played
I can
Ice
tell
Cube.
he looked kind of like Ice Cube.
Who played Ice
You
Cube in
could
Straight Out
tell.
of Compton.
He
And-
looked like him.
And in fucking Kong Skull Island, Eazy-E and Dr. Dre are in it. So it's like,
One of these guys.
yes, that's probably him.
It's from Ice Cube.
I got the keychain. Thanks.
I
Mike.
liked the main characters though. I'll love anything with Charles Dance because as soon as he came, I'm like Tywin Lannister.
Yeah, like
I'm
Now-
surprised
now-
he didn't die in this.
now I just want to see a picture of Tywin Lannister just running on the back of Ghidorah.
Yeah.
Take this, Daenerys.
Take this. Funny you mentioned that, Lane. I was reading Michael Dougherty specifically said he didn't want Ghidorah to look like a Game of Thrones dragon.
The
So-
funny thing is when they showed the one head coming up, all I could think was, oh my god, it's a Game of
If
Thrones
anything,
dragon.
no. If anything, finding out what Ghidorah was, the mythology of dragons were probably based off of Ghidorah.
Yeah,
That's what they're
that's
saying.
the implication they were
He's
making.
three dragons stuck
Yeah.
together.
And
He's a fucking alien!
I was surprised that they actually went for that. He's a straight up alien.
fucking
Because he
alien.
always has been.
No, but I wasn't expecting in this movie
Oh, yeah, I
for them
guess
to do
that's-
that.
Yeah, because like
Here was the thing about this movie too, because
you get a
the
monster.
first one is much more grounded in realism. I want to say.
yeah.
This one has a very sci-fi feel to it,
Yes.
which is fine.
Well,
Yeah.
because it's like think of
Godzilla.
like think of the two different directors making this movie. Like you have Gareth Edwards, who like he does his own thing, but then I can't remember the guy who did this movie, but he's a huge like hardcore Godzilla
Michael
fan.
Dougherty,
Yeah,
the guy who made Krampus.
He's the
and
guy
I
who
love
made
him.
Krampus.
I love
He
him.
apparently vaguely knows I exist because he liked one of my
Oh, that's
tweets once.
awesome.
That's
It
so
was
cute.
just a picture of the scary teddy
Now I'm expecting by the next Godzilla movie we get, it's just gonna be saying where Godzilla's fighting a kaiju something,
And
and
the
you just see,
freaking Krampus shows up.
and you just see people in a Starbucks just still working on their laptops. It's just like, yeah.
Oh my god. Cast and crew of Thanksgiving make a flying claw movie.
Oh god.
That
You mean
actually
Giant Claw?
Giant claw.
Oh
yes.
god.
And
Make-
just have the giant claw condor be the turkey.
Yes.
I want.
That would be the saddest thing that ever.
It would be amazing.
Okay, and once again, I want to just give special shout out though to Billy Bobby Brown because she was awesome in this.
she was very
You
good.
know how
Yeah.
long it took me to realize that's who it was.
Well, now she has hair.
Oh no,
And last thing before we talk about the monsters, or last thing about the humans, again, sorry, two things I want to say then.
all right.
Okay, those fucking twins.
Yeah, no, I got my twins. I got my twins
They-
reference.
Raven just turned to me.
Oh look,
with
there's
a
my
smile.
they're my grandmothers on Infant Island, 1961. I'm just like, yeah.
It was so good.
But the other thing is, apparently this movie specifically was talking to me at that point, where I can't remember what his name was, but the dad. What's his name?
Mark.
Mark. Yeah, Mark.
Mark,
How am I
yeah.
gonna forget that? Where Mark turns out, what does Mark do? Oh, he studies wolves.
Studies fucking wolves,
And so the movie immediately was like, we're getting Selin on this.
Yeah, like it shows him just like it shows him studying wolves and like listening to them howl and just they're like eating a
Communicate.
fucking corpse of
No,
an animal or something. It's
no.
great.
So you guys mentioned Billy Bobby Brown.
Yeah.
She's known for like
11.
Stranger
Stranger
11
Things.
from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I've never seen Stranger Things,
Neither
You
have
should.
I, unfortunately.
so like this is my first time actually seeing her act.
What do you think?
She's not that bad.
Yeah.
You
I
should
mean,
watch
she got
Stranger
the
Things.
she got
You
the
should.
terror thing down. Like when she was fucking like running and
But,
screaming.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's got great
But-
screaming.
But I will
I
admit,
really felt for her. She was terrifying.
I had to like ease my way into these human characters, especially just like the family one, because I'm like, okay, The 2014 one was about family characters. Are we seriously doing another family?
So Family Gar.
Yeah, but they're a family that's brought together.
Don't you know that these are also sequels to the Fast and the Furious movies? It has to be about family.
Can we not talk about Fast and Furious sequels?
No.
Oh my god.
We're not
You want
talking
to say
about
something,
that.
Emily?
There's definitely one human that we need to talk about who we haven't, and that's Dr. Sarah's.
Oh my
yeah.
god. Just such a badass.
We promise we're going to talk about the monsters, people.
Yeah.
But yeah, Serizawa was so
Serizawa.
great.
But everything he said, I admire all
And
forms of life and just everything about him.
And
Is
beautiful.
I love
So
what
great.
he did. So they have to restore Godzilla. So they're like, okay.
Again, huge spoilers.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
huge
like
spoilers.
So it's like, oh, we're gonna fucking launch a nuclear bomb, set off a nuclear bomb around him. So like it helps him heal and evolve
because
faster.
the Oxygen Destroyer was also in this
Yeah,
movie.
and it almost killed him.
Yeah,
So-
the Oxygen Destroyer from Gojira was in this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the very first one.
So I love it. So I love that Dr. Serizawa in this movie, he used the bomb to sacrifice himself and save Godzilla, while in the original film, Dr. Serizawa in that movie created the Oxygen Destroyer and sacrificed himself to kill Godzilla.
Well, he
so I
didn't-
like that there was an
well-
opposite thing.
Well, he didn't sacrifice himself to kill Godzilla. He sacrificed himself so that no one else could get the information of the Oxygen Destroyer.
Yeah, but he's
Tomato.
still
Yeah,
died.
but tomato.
Yeah.
Alright. But yeah, Emily, you're absolutely right. Serizawa was great in this.
No, it's so
They
cool.
expanded upon
Ken
him.
Watanabe, man, you're great.
It was also in Pokemon.
Go. Honestly, if I ever get
He
a
was in
recommendation,
Pokemon, let me.
go watch The Last Samurai with
Oh,
Tom
he's
Cruise
so
and
good in
him.
that.
He's so good in that movie.
Alright.
I'm glad he still called him Gojira.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it made sense. And
Even called him Gojira.
Like everyone else was like Godzilla, him Gojira.
Oh,
the one
thank God.
scientist.
They even make a joke about that too. Well, we're doing a Serizawa let them fight. I love it when he says that.
The guy who said that, I don't know what. Did
Oh,
you notice what his name was?
I think
I
it was Stanter?
Something like that.
Something like that.
He every time he said Godzilla, he said Godzilla.
Godzilla.
No, he was
Yes.
From
hilarious.
Milwaukee.
We're on a mission
hilarious.
from
I liked him.
Godzilla.
That's
He
Chicago.
even did the whole "Oh my Godzilla"
I liked
that
him. He was
actually
funny.
showed up.
So, I think it's time. There is a trope in fiction called "just here for Godzilla." Let's be honest, we're here for Godzilla. Let's talk about some monsters.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
I love the monsters.
Oh my
Yeah,
god, they're
oh,
all
it
so
was
great.
so
They all have their
cool.
own unique thing about them. Like Rodan. Rodan bursts out of a fucking volcano
Okay,
and just.
I mentioned this before. That has to be a Power Rangers reference, right?
Yeah,
A pterodactyl emerging from the
Well,
mountain.
I mean, in the movies he's shown up in, he does pop out of a volcano.
Yeah. The first time.
Yeah, but that
More
has
like-
to be a reference.
No. The flip side of that is the pterodactyl in
It's a reference to
Is-
Rodan.
Yeah.
the pterodactyl.
That's what I mean.
So it's like a
That's what I mean.
self-replicating
Oh, yeah.
circle.
Flip way.
Like-
yeah, flip
yeah.
around.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Shut the fuck up, God.
Okay, while we're here, let's talk about Rodan. We'll make our way up the totem pole.
Holy shit! He didn't die.
I was surprised.
He did shit. He's also the Starscream of Kaiju.
We were in the car talking about, and it's true. For some reason, I can very much imagine Rodan speaking in Starscream's voice, and I have no idea why.
and-
But I don't think he actually does, mind you. It's just I feel like if someone made a dumb meme where they put that on top, it would actually not be completely not working.
Okay.
Godzilla has fallen into a trench and been trapped. That
I'm the
makes
new king
me
of the
the new
monsters.
king of the
And then
monsters.
Godzilla shows up.
Oh, Godzilla! I was just commanding the troops to get you out.
I think it was just because of the fact that he switched allegiances so fast.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
no, there's literally a part in this movie where, like, at the end, when Godzilla is titled king, where Rodan, you can't see me doing this, but he literally, like,
It's
does that
the
thing, he
circle.
bows with his head like this. Like,
I was just thinking it's the circle.
Well, no.
but-
You know what?
Yeah, he's Zazu.
You know who I can see him being?
He Rodan, because that's the
Yeah,
only person he
Rodan.
is.
Well, besides Rodan, in the Dark Crystal.
yeah, the
Oh,
Chamberlain.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
looks kind of like a Skeksis, yeah. Like if you look at the head of Rodan, I really love the design of his head.
Oh, yeah.
He's
they
I
made-
very-
love how bird-like.
yeah,
he is.
they combine them like a bird and a pterodactyl.
Okay, so I just looked up about Bradley Whitford's character, Dr. Rick Stanton. So apparently, Michael Dougherty verified that Dr. Stanton is loosely modeled after Rick Sanchez from Rick and Morty. Dougherty had the character drink a lot to keep the character in line with
He
the
did
spirit
have a
of Rick.
flask!
And he
Yeah.
did, yeah.
And what's
No, he's based off fucking
which is weird because there's a Rick and Morty sticker in this
on the
movie.
laptop.
Yeah.
I saw that too.
And I think Michael Dougherty just likes Rick and Morty because in Krampus there's a Rick and Morty reference.
There you go. We got
Yeah,
Rick,
the
a live
posters-
action Rick
The
Sanchez.
posters on the wall. Yeah, there's a Rick and Morty.
We should get this guy to play. But
Right?
I was absolutely in love with how they made it look like at first because Rodan emerges from a volcano,
Yeah,
right?
so
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, he's on fire because he came out of that. No, he's always on fire.
He's like
Yeah.
the Human Torch.
Yeah.
It's got like ashes and like.
Like the
Well,
original Human Torch,
I'll
not
say
Johnny
this right
Storm
now.
Human Torch.
I'll say this right now. I think that's just something to do with the way that kaiju work. Like, you've noticed that when Godzilla uses his breath weapon, his back glows. Or when Ghidorah uses his lightning weapon, his plasma breath, his throat glows and stuff like that. And when Godzilla became Burning Godzilla, his scales had, like, radiation coming through them, like, popping through. Like, Rodan, I think, is actually probably pretty powerful because you've seen that he trails radiation from his tail feathers.
Well, here's actually the interesting thing, too. I'm looking this up.
Okay.
The director said that for Rodan, elements of volcanic rock were added to him to make the scales and skin color more like he is of fire and rock.
I'm
Is this
belt
thing.
mechanics in
Yeah.
right now, but like, yeah, I'm just hypothesizing on
His
the
main
world
his actual words were he wanted Rodan to resemble something that Mother Nature could have made.
Mm-hmm.
In which that's what these kaijus are meant to be. They're like, aside from King Ghidorah.
And he actually said
Maybe
too.
that's why King Ghidorah's design was the most like abstract looking.
Well,
still.
he wanted it to
Because
be
he was
unique.
still an alien.
Yeah.
But they never confirm he's an alien. This like
No, they said he's from space.
Have you guys
Did they?
noticed
Yeah.
that like you mentioned that like Mothra has always been kind of like a nature spirit sort of thing, like a guardian of nature and like
Oh yes.
friend. And you mentioned Rodan is supposed to look like something that came from the earth or something like that. Maybe they're like the flying ones are both like nature aligned. Godzilla is just something that evolved that way, and Ghidorah is an alien.
Well, I mean, I've always kind of put personally, I've always
creates-
said that the kaiju titans, whatever, are gods. Like, they all have. There's a god. Like I've always said, Rodan is the god of destruction because it doesn't matter. Even if he wanted to help, he can't help but destroy everything. It's like we get that amazing shot where he's just
Oh,
flying low.
God.
Like he's not trying to hurt those people.
I
Yeah.
feel like
He's
such an
He just
asshole.
does a freaking barrel roll and
I
smacks
want
a million chips out of
that
the air.
kid that was like hanging. I just wanted him to just fucking get caught.
Okay,
up in
I'm gonna
that.
tell you guys something really awesome happened to me a few weeks ago. I had a dream where I was actually, I guess I saw the trailer. I was like in the Rodan
Oh,
attack.
that's awesome.
Where I was carrying like my this old lady I work with, like she was there
You
too
were
for some
carrying
reason.
her?
No, because she's this old little lady. She can't like just like come on, let's go. Rodan's coming. And yeah, but yeah. So like Rodan too. Just I love how bird-like he was when he is like taking out all those like.
Oh, he does the
plane-
spin.
the
Not the
spin.
plane. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Holy
And
shit.
I was super glad he didn't die. I thought they were gonna kill him.
Yeah.
Because I thought exactly
Yes,
what I
Stevie
said
said.
was gonna happen was gonna happen. No. I told Lane, Rodan's gonna be the first to die to show like how powerful Ghidorah is, and then we see Rodan and Ghidorah clash, and that's it.
But nope, he lived and
And-
was there till the very
Yeah,
end.
fucking impaled by fucking Mothra.
So he looks
Mothra
great.
and Rodan just rolling around the sky
Oh, that
while
was
all
great.
the
That
humans
was
on the
great.
ground are running away. And
Just the fact that Rodan's a lackey is kind of great.
It's a huge dog fight.
Starscream.
Like very large dog fight.
Speaking of which, let's talk about Mothra.
Yep.
Ooh.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. I'm glad they started her out in
In
Yeah,
her
she did.
egg and
Beginning.
the larva form.
How-
I lo-
yeah.
Sorry,
It's okay.
I was just gonna say one thing, then you can say your thing.
Oh, go.
I'm gonna
I
say
like the
no.
fact that Godzilla and Ghidorah are foils, and Mothra and Rodan are foils.
Yeah.
Rodan is big and not pretty, but like, dangerous looking. Mothra is powerful, but also beautiful.
Like
Yeah.
Mothra understands like what the balance of the earth needs, where Rodan will be like, no, I will follow just whoever is
God of destruction,
whoever
God
is,
of nature.
whoever the alpha male is.
And if these four were meant to show some sort of like, balance metaphor, then they work.
Here's how I put it, okay? Rodan, god of destruction. Mothra, god of life. Ghidorah, god of chaos. Godzilla, god of nature. That's how I put it.
I can see that because throughout the entire movie, Godzilla's just trying to keep the balance of
Yeah.
nature.
Or fuck, yeah, actually, yeah, he's the god of balance.
Yeah,
Kong's the god of nature.
And Ghidorah is the one who upsets the balance.
Yeah. You were saying about Mothra, Emily?
What can I not say about Mothra?
Oh,
Please,
go
gush
for it.
about Mothra.
Someone has
your
to.
time to.
Okay, I had to say, like, literally the second they scrolled over that, like, carving of Mothra on the wall, I was already crying. I know that's really stupid.
No, it's not.
But I've never seen an actual Mothra on the big screen ever, so...
Here's what the director said about Mothra. Doherty wanted to create something that was beautiful, feminine, and elegant,
Yeah,
but
he said she wasn't feminine enough.
and looked like a true goddess, but dangerous if she had to be. He attempted to remain faithful to the color palette of the original 1961 and retain the eye spots. They were said to resemble Godzilla's, actually. Is that true? I have to rewatch that, actually, and see. Like, to make a connection.
Well, they were meant to be a symbiotic mate.
Species,
sort of thing.
Yeah. He wanted her to look... he said he did want to look for something that was somewhat scary and predatory.
Yeah.
So he gave him mantis limbs for no reason.
A little bit, yeah. Well, they needed her to be able to defend herself, right?
And a bee stinger. Though they didn't give her classic eye lasers.
No, yeah.
No, they didn't.
That's
Instead, they
kinda
had her
good.
stab Rodan through the wing.
I would have loved it if she'd have had her classic eye lasers.
Well, here was the thing, too, that the director was saying. He said straight up she was the hardest to make because it was really hard to just not make a giant moth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they needed it to not be
Yeah,
that.
like imagine we got that.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they gave her they gave her
I
attributes of insects in general.
Yeah.
Like they gave her, like you said, the praying mantis arms, the wasp stinger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's all different pictures of Mothra.
Yeah, I think she looked great.
She's basically just an apex insect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or as they call her, the queen of the month.
And didn't someone
I
even...
like that.
That was even hilarious too when Ice Cube Jr. said, "Are they gonna get it on?" Like,
Yeah, I love it. Like, he's
that
like,
thing and Godzilla.
he's like, oh, King Ghidorah's here to.
they got a thing.
He's here for food or drink
fight,
or
He's either food or fight or something
more
intimate. And I was like, okay, this is my favorite
No, that
character.
was the first movie.
No, in this one, Mark
Yeah,
said.
no, I know that. I'm just saying this movie we didn't get any.
No, the
intimate
fucking was the
relations.
first movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they even make a joke about
They
that.
did. After all the jokes after the first one, where people made like somewhat lewd fan art of the Mutos, we actually
Somewhat.
Yeah, I didn't see any of the not somewhat lewd. I saw the somewhat lewd fan
I
art.
also like the Godzilla's roar really sounded more in this movie like the iconic one.
Yeah, I can, because in 2014 when it kind of just sounded like a giant T-Rex, where this one sounds...
You hear like...
Yeah, like you can sound a bit of the Toho. Also, thank God Akira's theme for Akira's score for Godzilla.
Oh yeah, that was
was
cool.
in it.
All the score was cool. Mothra's song actually.
Oh my god, that
Oh,
was
I
so
loved
great.
it.
Every time.
It's whimsical.
I love too about Mothra, last thing, was how like when she's going at the very beginning when she hatches her little rampage, she's like she's trying not to hurt people, she's just webbing them
Yeah,
up
that's what I was thinking. She takes a guy and like throws him
into a web. It's like, oh, that's
because
cute.
Mothra is like the goddess of protection, but
She's
she
the
can
god
still
of
be
light.
picked
Well,
up.
She's a nice person. She's just like,
But
I don't want to hurt you.
No,
just leave me alone.
Just imagine if you were born and immediately all that crap happened.
Yeah.
Now I'm
And your automatic instinct was just to, I don't want to kill you.
Wouldn't
I don't want to kill you.
wouldn't you be pissed
fuck that
off too?
generic always person I hate when like it's like don't shoot and then he goes
A
ah!
giant-
There's always one guy who does that.
Always
It's always
shoots. Always shoots.
I mean,
Yeah,
if a giant caterpillar was looking at you, you might go,
If
you
a
might
giant
panic.
I would
caterpillar
shit
was
myself,
looking-
too.
was
The
looking at me,
15-year-old
I would be
girl
really,
was willing
really
to walk up to
excited.
it.
I don't know. I guess some people want to. No, never mind.
This movie
I was
sucks.
gonna say
Some
something
people
really
just want to kill things.
No,
Oh,
I was
wait,
gonna
this
say some people just want to touch Mothra.
That's true. That is true.
It's weird, but I think my
I'm just
favorite.
going full Dr. Newton, guys.
My favorite
for
in this
movie.
movie was Ghidorah. Honestly,
Let's talk about Ghidorah.
He just
He was something else.
fucking terrifying.
They made him scary.
Like being like when they show him first like encased in ice, it's like me and Gar just looked at each other going like, oh,
I love that.
What is it with horrible things encased in ice in Antarctica?
No,
you know,
I
the
want
thing,
The Thing.
Megatron.
Also,
Final
one thing I
Wars.
noticed, this is really silly, but I don't know why it bothered me so much, but people walking around in Antarctica without hats or face coverings.
Yeah, no, Antarctica's
that's in
fucking
every.
cold.
That's in every
No!
movie.
It's
No.
like your skin will freeze instantaneously.
But like,
But here's the biggest question though.
Yeah.
how did he get frozen in ice?
Maybe he just went into hibernation.
Think of it.
Wait,
What, like
he's
he's
an alien?
They make a
he's
point
an
of
alpha
saying
male.
no, but they made a point of saying like most of them went into hibernation just because like they wouldn't be able to sustain themselves because they got to eat.
That is fair. That's true.
Like
Like they burrowed underground because
So
there's
he
more
went
radiation.
there. Like he's reptilian, so it makes sense he'd go somewhere cold.
And then he just accidentally froze over.
Here's what I really
I
enjoy.
can see Rodan in the volcano. It's just it's getting fucking hot in here. I'm getting out.
I actually really like though. I have to watch the movie again to be sure, but to me it looked like they were only ever before he came out, only showing one head. Which to me, that was for anyone who doesn't know who that is, because there's kids in the audience.
Yep.
Maybe they haven't seen the trailer. They just it's a dragon.
It's
It's got 3 heads.
It's a
Wait, I
sort of
want
moment.
to bring up
Oh,
one.
I thought you were looking at something over
No.
there.
No.
That's
That's
Mothra.
I was going to bring up one thing about this movie. People say "holy shit" a lot in this movie.
Oh, look, we
What
got a
is
fucking.
They're
One of
really
the first
pushing that
lines in the movie-
PG-13.
Yeah, one of the first lines in the movie is when the bacon gets burned and she just says the S word like 4 times.
Shit.
Yeah.
But when King Ghidorah shows up, it's like, holy shit.
Something else I noticed. Speaking of, sorry.
Someone,
for-
Yeah, go ahead.
Speaking
someone
of
dropped
the
the
thing.
F-bomb.
Okay, scene taking place in the Arctic. Something grows things that it normally doesn't have, and someone says, "You've got to be effing kidding."
Yeah, that might be a reference actually, straight up.
You
I think you caught that. Yeah,
fucking kid.
I think so.
Yes,
Maybe good
like,
on you.
was that on purpose or?
Maybe.
I'm
Probably.
sorry, I'm just talking as someone who really loves John
Oh, it's the
Carpenter's
best
thing.
movie. It's the best
It's
movie.
weird. The reason I ended up liking it so much was because it used to be the movie that scared me the most. Because body horror is my biggest fear, so I forced myself to watch it, and then I became.
So do you like the body horror scene in this where
Rogan.
Ghidorah grows a head?
That reminded
Oh.
me entirely of Hercules.
That was yeah.
Can
It
I
was
just
almost
say?
the same effect.
Can I just say this right now? Okay, I'm gonna make a 2-part statement right now about King Ghidorah. To preface this,
Are you sure it'd be a 3-part statement?
Yeah.
fine. I love King Ghidorah. When I was a kid, I saved up my allowance for like a couple weeks to get a King Ghidorah action figure from Toys R Us,
That's amazing.
and I still have it.
Oh, that's amazing.
And
don't hit the mic.
I just think he's a really cool and well designed kaiju, and he is no less than that and way more in this movie. It's pretty great, but easily hands down the best design in the entire film. I mean, Godzilla's Godzilla. Godzilla will never not be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But like this was a really bitchin' King Ghidorah. Like this was like mountain sized feasible
I want to say that actually that might be my favorite shot in the whole movie when Ghidorah wakes up and the first time Godzilla confronts him. Ghidorah towers over
Just his
Godzilla.
wings.
Well, no.
Absolutely.
Have you seen the SH Monster Arts for these
No.
for these designs?
Oh.
King Ghidorah is probably like the biggest out of
How
all
big
of
is
them.
he?
Like I will pull up a picture of like the SH
And
Monster
I like that
Arts.
each of his heads was like a different
Yeah,
personality.
like-
That was great. Like they're fighting over like one of the corpses
That
like
is-
of a soldier they killed, and it's like, no, fuck off, this is mine. No, fuck you.
This is my second point. That I was going to make.
And
They're the Three Stooges.
They are.
Yeah, the
Like,
Three Stooges.
They
Like,
even reference that
they do.
in the movie.
They refer to them as Curly, Larry, and Moe, and I love this one shot where it's just like the right
Damn.
head was doofing off, and the center head just like swatted it with.
It's like, hey, what are you doing now? Chow to head?
You shout ahead! What are you doing? Yeah,
Just-
exactly.
Say Mo.
Like, and I'm just like, and like the other one's just there.
that is just disturbing.
It's
Oh,
awesome.
that's great.
So yeah, like there's a picture of the SH Monster Arts of the 2019 Godzilla and King Ghidorah
What are
on
its
screen.
dimensions?
Just it's so big. Like it's so big. It needs 3 stands.
Is it like how many inches tall is it?
Like the span of that white shelf there.
Really?
That's how big it is.
Really?
Yeah, he would take
Oh
up
my
an
gosh,
entire
he's
shelf.
big.
That's fucking huge.
If I want to bring up something though, so
much is
It's like $200.
That's not that bad for something that awesome.
that is true.
I would get that.
I will say this. This is something I find most monster movies have this problem, except for Kong. Yeah, that's again, I think that's why it's my favorite. James Rolfe actually talked about this. It's a problem he has. It's like for goddamn once, can't one of these movies fight scenes not happen at night in the rain?
That is true. Like Antarctica, it was like
It was
dark.
snowing,
it's
and it was
always dark,
nighttime,
yeah.
and like with Ghidorah, like there's the idea he brings the storm with him, which is fine.
Yeah.
But then now it's raining and like it's nighttime. It's like And I know why they do it.
I
Yeah.
can see everything clearly.
It's because
No, I know they can see
CGI
everything
looks
clearly.
more realistic when it's not in focus.
Yeah, just like this movie.
Oh,
I usually attribute it to the idea that these two big things are so interrupting nature as they fight that they're like bringing bad weather with them.
No, I know that's
No.
why they did it. I'm just saying it'd be nice if one time we got to see Godzilla
Well,
during the day.
maybe they don't want to have like a Transformers situation where it's like they're bright in the day, but you can't tell what's going on.
But here's the thing, Kong did it.
That is true. Kong
So
did-
it's like I don't think there's an excuse
That
anymore.
being said, Kong, how do I put this? All of the Kong movies sort of have this sort of tropical look to them.
No, and I get
Like,
that. I don't want it to get repetitive, where every fight scene with Godzilla now is at night in the rain.
Okay,
That's fair.
I just look at it and I go, it's Toho Tokusatsu.
I
versus
don't want it to become
Harryhausen.
John Wick, is what I'm saying.
Oh.
Where
That's-
every fight scene is the exact same thing.
All I'm saying is it's Toho Tokusatsu versus Harryhausen Tokusatsu. That's the way I see it. Harryhausen Tokusatsu tends to be more during the daylight, and it like
And that's fine. I
Yeah.
just don't want every fight to be that. That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
I have a nitpick about the movie.
tell me.
It would actually have to be the main female character, not Billy Bobby Brown.
Oh, the mom?
Oh,
Yeah,
Emma?
the mom.
Yeah,
She.
that's where shit got cliche.
Yeah, that's what. Like,
The one thing
I
I'll
just
say,
didn't like the idea of
the
her.
one thing I'll say, because it got kind of eye rolling when she was like, humans are the actual
I
disease,
was like, oh.
and I was like, okay, here we go. Like the most cliche thing you can think of. I'll give the movie this. At least she has actual proof.
And
It's
they
like-
also played the whole she's both right and wrong.
Yeah, and like, but I'm talking more
Sorry
about.
for interrupting.
You didn't interrupt, Emily. I'm talking more about like when she was like, look at San Francisco and Las Vegas after they attacked. Everything started growing again. So at least there was like actual
Mhm.
evidence in what she was going
But
for. It
she's
wasn't all guesswork.
I just didn't like how she's like, oh, humans, like they're ruining the planet. You're also a human.
Well, to be fair,
Like you can't
I think she was going.
Environmentalist, man.
you can't play devil's advocate when you're also a human.
Sure you
I
can.
loved when Madison was just like, "You're a monster," and
Mhm.
I was like, "Oh, eat it."
So should we talk about the big G himself, or shall I bring up the other monsters?
Let's bring up the
Yeah.
other monsters
So,
because they mentioned
There's a
Collective.
lot of fucking monsters in this.
Amuno survived!
Yeah,
I was so glad
Sar-
I thought they all died.
Sarazawa mentioned there are 17 kaijus on the planet.
Confirmed.
Yeah, confirmed. Which, and it's like, you could easily be like, oh, there's Baragon, there's Anguirus.
They made up their own.
But it's like, well, why should we pay royalty fees for more characters?
And straight
Why
up-
don't we just make more.
I appreciate that. They actually decided, hey, let's make our own.
Yeah.
And they're awesome looking.
There's a mammoth.
Michael Dougherty said he wanted these to look like things that, people would think were gods back in the day.
Mhm.
That's why they were simple, but they worked. Okay, so here's actually what they are. You go, oh,
I just realized why I liked the direction that they took this in so much.
shoot.
It's Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh.
No! Yes.
It kind of is.
It is, you're right.
They're colossi.
Okay, so here are all the Titans.
Okay.
Okay, so Godzilla. You got Mothra, Rodan, Ghidorah. Also Dur. Kong, obviously.
Yeah.
Muto 3, that's what his name
Yep.
is. There is the Behemoth, which is the big woolly mammoth gorilla thing.
Okay.
Scylla, which was the spider monster.
Oh, I thought that was Kamunga.
So that's what I thought it was too. Methuselah, which is the one in the mountain, the one that like everyone's like Anguirus.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's
I
Methuselah.
thought
So-
it looked like Torterra from.
Yeah, I was
like,
also
the
thinking
movie.
Torterra.
I was having Detective Pikachu flashbacks.
Right?
Yep.
And these are the other ones that are just named on the screen.
Okay.
So we have Mokele Membe, which is interesting because that's an actual African cryptid.
Oh.
Baphomet, Tiamat, Typhoon, Abaddon, Leviathan, Sargon, and Bunyip.
This
You mean
sounds like
Bunyip?
Lilo and Stitch.
The
cousins.
Seven Satans.
Oh, Bunyip's just a giant fucking bunny.
There is
A
so much
bunyip is a kind
Judeo-Christian demons in what
Yeah,
you just
a
said.
You're saying,
a bunyip is a type of. It's sort of like an, I believe, Australian looking.
Yeah,
one?
it is.
Yes.
Oh, so that's probably the Australian one.
Yeah, because they're all around the world.
Yeah.
Canadian one.
That would be the Yeti.
Oh my god,
Eddie.
this giant fucking Yeti.
Maybe Behemoth was that.
Wouldn't it be Wendigo?
Wendigo are humans.
What?
They're cannibalistic humans.
Oh.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, so okay, we went this far. Let's talk about the big G himself.
Fucking badass. What can
Yeah.
I say?
He's a chubby boy still.
He is still a chubby boy, but you know what? I got used to it. I
Yeah.
don't mind. It's not that
I
big
love
of a
his big
deal.
design.
I'll say this. I prefer the first one.
Of course.
Just because like I love how real he looked, and this one I liked what they did with him, and which was they made his like face more in.
Yeah.
They gave his dorsal plates aren't really spiky anymore. They look like the maple pattern of old. So that was interesting. His tail looks rounded again.
I like how he's like kind of designating himself as like the peacekeeper. It's like if there's anything that's gonna go wrong, I'm gonna take care of it.
Preserve the planet or I'll fucking kill you.
Pretty much.
Captain Planet.
Captain Planet.
Oh, someone else said that are we in spoiler territory?
Yeah, we're in
Yes.
spoilers.
Yeah, that the post-credit scene could have actually been leading towards an appearance of Destroya in the this monsterverse.
I feel like.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Should we? So okay, yeah, Godzilla's awesome. There's not
Yeah.
much else to say about that.
I think he just looks so. He's like a wrestler. Like,
Yeah, he
almost
does have like a build to him.
like
Yeah.
a sumo wrestler, like the way
And
he fights.
And
Yeah.
can we talk a little bit about Burning Godzilla?
Oh, Burning Godzilla was just.
He got a hyper
Yeah,
form.
he
I
got
was-
a super
I was
form.
giddy as a schoolboy.
He mega evolved.
He used his nuclear Kaioken
Yeah.
to take down
Fucking Rick
Ghidorah.
the whole time was just like, yeah, he's gonna go off in like 12 minutes, like a fucking thermonuclear bomb. And I was like, how do I do Burning
No,
Godzilla?
no.
Are they? And he just glows red. Yeah!
That was pretty awesome.
Oh,
do you know what I was expecting when we see that Ghidorah can grow heads back?
Mhm.
I was expecting, okay, Godzilla, Mothra, and Rodan are all going to have to take out a head simultaneously. That's what I thought they were going
That
for.
would have been cool.
Yeah. But all being said, I like Burning
Cigarettes, the
Godzilla.
fucker.
As someone who really likes Mothra, I have to admit Mothra kind of showed up it very incrementally and then sort of died. But I mean, the thing
Like,
is,
as
that's
she
what
does,
that's what
so
she does.
Mothra.
She dies.
Yeah, it's Mothra.
It's
And,
Mothra.
like,
and
yeah,
her
like-
death is what saved Godzilla.
Emily,
Yeah.
she's wonderful, she's beautiful, and she is benevolent and kind, but Mothra dies every single
Well, that's
time.
She's the
because-
Leomon
Well,
of
that's because
Godzilla.
what she does is she rises from the ashes. That's
Yeah.
why she was worshipped.
And they,
Yeah,
and they make
exactly.
a point of saying they found another
Exactly.
Mothra egg.
She
Yeah.
is the
There's
most
always
flammable of kaiju, and she's powerful enough for it,
It's
but
all-
she is also the most flammable
It is
of
the
kaiju.
silliest thing though. In the end credits, there's like a montage of like kaiju, like they're
Restoring the
the
Earth.
Titans. They're restoring Earth. They're like dropping ozone levels and like restoring like coral reefs. And I was half expecting to see a picture of Godzilla like helping to pick up a building or something. Godzilla
But-
chips in.
Just with a little giant shovel, just like planting a tree.
Godzilla makes basketball.
Rodan escorts kids to school.
Godzilla
I thought you were-
slam dunks for the rafters.
I thought you were going to say Rodan scorches kids.
Oh, I did.
No, now I can just see Rodan like as Mr. Ray from Finding Nemo. Like he just lands, all the kids get on his back, he just fly to school.
I would have loved to have seen Ghidorah actually survive, but he's like a crossing guard now. Like back in an old 90s
Ghidorah
movie.
is in monster jail.
Monster.
He's where
No, he's doing
I'll
community
get you
service.
next time, Godzilla. Yeah, we'll get you next time. Quiet, you.
He's picking up trash on the side of the road.
It's like
in,
Lex Luthor.
orange
One of the
prison
pieces of trash
jumpsuit.
is his own head.
No, but in that case, you gotta make one of his heads like Ed from Lion King. Where just,
Well, one of
the
them
one on the
was
left
like-
kind of was.
The one he just starts licking the ground and the other one hits him like, stop that. We're supposed to be looking menacing, not
There's
looking...
just-
You mutton head,
Or-
step!
Oh, it's like Hopper from Bug's Life. He goes, "If I hadn't promised Mother on her deathbed that I wouldn't kill you,
Or-
I'd kill you."
Or from Futurama, mom's like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ow, ow, ow.
We're owl exterminators.
where Al?
So let's talk about that actual end credits thing. It was not what I was expecting.
No.
Because okay,
Got the
again,
song.
the end. No, it was amazing. I know. All the Kong stuff they mentioned, because they mention Kong may appear, like, because it turns out there's another ancient cave drawing of Kong fighting Godzilla. So that's what they're building up to. But the actual end credits scene, the Marvel end credits scene, I was expecting something else completely different. What happens, Lane?
Oh, the post credits?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So We thought like Kong was gonna show up. I mean, for me personally, I thought it was gonna be Hedorah because like that would have been awesome. Just seeing a pile of goop and then you just see like an eye just open in the pile of goop, and it would be like, but no, we got a severed head of King Ghidorah because earlier in the movie, Godzilla severs one of his heads, and then we don't see it anymore.
And the guy who's buying it is Tywin Lannister, who is an eco-terrorist who wants to like make humans go back to the Stone Age, I guess.
Well, he just he thinks that the kaijus are like the ones who can like bring.
Because he was like an ex-soldier, so he saw the worst of war and things.
Yeah,
he's literally just like, we as a species have fucked up, so fuck humans. I'll do whatever I can.
And I need the kaijus to hit the reset button.
Yeah, basically. And so that opened the floodgates to. Are they making fucking Mecha Ghidorah?
Oh my god!
Probably.
But that wouldn't work just because of this. Yeah. It's like. Mecha Ghidorah only worked because they had the body.
Yeah.
Like, a head is not gonna... So I think Emily's right. I think they're gonna make something... They're gonna make their own monster. God damn it, they're gonna make Monster X.
Of course they are!
God
Monster
damn
X
it.
movie! 100%! 1000%! Monster X movie! Absolutely!
It's gonna like be just the head with a new body sort of like created.
Like crime.
No, like it's gonna be like... They're gonna like morph the head so it's gonna look less like a dragon head, I guess. And like it's what we were saying the whole time. Yeah, Godzilla and Kong, they're destined to fight, but in the end, they gotta work together. So basically, we're remaking Dawn of Justice. God damn it.
Or here's my idea. Well, think of it. If King Ghidorah can regenerate a head, you can probably just give him enough time. He can regenerate his entire body.
We'll see what happens. Maybe that is what they'll do.
I love it. He was just like,
Daenerys thinks she has dragons.
Stop waking you.
It's gotta be a shot of fucking someone Photoshop Tywin Lannister on top of fucking King Ghidorah.
And done.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Like
Falcor just wasting everyone in King's
Tywin
Landing.
Lannister. Yeah!
Yeah, sorry, for those who haven't seen fucking Game of Thrones, they're too bad.
Yeah.
I don't care.
But just... I love this movie.
It was
so
like I will buy it on Blu-ray. That's how much I loved it.
It was an enormous fucking.
I got what I wanted.
It was pornography for Godzilla fans.
Yeah.
It's a serviceable movie for non-Godzilla fans. Like you could, if you've only seen Godzilla 2014, you can see this movie and be thoroughly impressed. If you've seen all the rest of the Godzilla movies, or even just some of the rest of the Godzilla movies, you will be thoroughly entertained.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot think of a situation in which this will bore you. If you're into action, if you're into like action movies with like big old monster fights and stuff like that and really crazy looking special effects, you'll like it. Like
go
even the most pretentious asshole would probably get something from this.
I'm really hoping that this opens up people's eyes to be like, hey, because like from what I've been hearing, just some people like, yeah, 2014 Godzilla was a thing, but it didn't really intrigue people to be like, hey, let's go back and watch like the other movies. Hopefully this one's like, hey, let's go check out like the older movies.
Because this is far more like the older movies than the first one, than Godzilla 2014. Let's all be honest here.
Oh yeah.
Godzilla 2014
This is a straight up remake of Ghidorah, the three-headed monster.
Did you see the fucking, there was a call out to destroy all monsters. Like, when they were marching on, like, Washington or whatever, to, like, we gotta kill all of them,
yeah.
There was literally someone with a sign that said, destroy all monsters.
I saw that, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I was half expecting, like, one to just say, Godzilla and Mothra and King Ghidorah, all monsters all out attack.
That would have been great, that would have been great if, like,
GMK.
they, like, passed by, like, you just saw, like, a news clip, like, a newsreel of, like, Tokyo or something, and just, like, a Japanese person's holding up, like, Tokyo SOS.
I would have liked it if we'd have seen, like, I would have liked it if we'd have seen, like, a newscast where someone was just, like, the government and Monarch have been doing everything they can to fight against Godzilla and these kaiju. I mean, what's next? Mecha Godzilla?
Yeah, just like a stoner just be like, they should make like a Mecha Godzilla and it could help Godzilla. That'd be great.
Or,
you can shoot
like,
lasers from his eyes and stuff. That'd be awesome.
That would have been a great shot!
What about this? Project MG, Mecha Godzilla. And basically, instead of being its own sentient thing, what if Godzilla's about to go supernova and it's like a body armor for him?
Oh.
So basically, like, it like collapses.
Iron Man armor for fucking Godzilla.
Look, to be completely honest, I don't want to see Mechagodzilla in these movies. It's too out there.
The
Too corny.
closest we got was Ready Player One, which was also done by Legendary. And
Yeah, and I'm
Warner's.
fine with that. I don't think the mechanicals will work in these
Do you know what I want to see though?
That's fair.
Jet Jaguar.
Fuck that.
No, we're not
No.
gonna see Jet Jaguar.
No, we need Jet Jaguar, and it needs to be in the style of a Kikaider movie.
We
I
have
mean-
that. It's called the new Ultraman anime.
No,
Shut the
Lane, this is
fuck
what-
up, Gar.
No, I know, but I'm just saying we do have Mechagodzilla made
Oh, there you
by
go.
Legendary.
That's
So
fine.
Some random scientist who hates kaiju so much that he builds a robot that can fight kaiju. He's got
be on your Kaiju.
he's got unstable metallic molecules that can grow to kaiju
Oh, he's the
size. or
T-1000?
shrink. No, he's Jet Jaguar because Jet Jaguar was like a human-sized robot that could grow to kaiju size. That's his thing.
It is kind of,
You can't have that.
Well,
in this.
Toho is apparently,
Sure you can!
apparently after Godzilla vs. Kong, Toho gets the rights back, and they're going to make their own monsterverse because they're inspired by what Legendary.
Here's all I was expecting, though. Spoilers again. Fucking Atlantis is in this movie.
Except they never call
They don't call it Atlantis, but they call it Atlantis.
Godzilla?
Yeah, Lane came up with the best name ever for it. The
Godzilla. The
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Oh,
Yeah, so yeah,
fuck.
turns
You
out.
see the statues of like fucking erected statues of Godzilla, and it's fucking
I
awesome.
was half expecting in the background for there to be another statue
Yeah.
of a turtle man, of a turtle.
Gamera.
Because Gamera's from Atlantis in the
I want
movie.
Get the rights to Gamera,
Oh,
Legendary.
I want Friend to the Children Turtle.
here's the weirdest thing that I found out about Gamera. Apparently, in the Hate, like the trilogy that came out in the 90s, turtles don't exist.
What?
Wait,
Yeah.
turtles don't exist?
Turtles don't exist, and they never refer to him as a tortoise.
Well, I think that's because it would sound silly.
Wait,
Well, no,
like,
no.
Are you saying that in that universe there are no turtles?
In that universe, there is no such thing as a turtle,
Well,
and that's why Gamera is such a mythical creature.
So they don't have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They don't have.
Maybe the Teenage Mutant Ninja
They
Cows.
don't. They don't.
It's not a universe I'd like to live in.
They don't have.
Love turtles.
Yeah.
They don't have
It-
mock
it-
turtle.
It's
they
just
don't
there's
have-
no turtles.
Nothing.
That is just
So it's a
it's
universe
weird.
where the divergence from our universe is there are just no freaking turtles for
Yeah,
some reason.
basically.
That's
That's
so
a-
weird.
Next thing you're gonna tell me is that the water's turning the frogs gay.
I don't know.
Oh,
It's
no.
almost like there's what if there were another universe where instead of tennis they played it with 3 people and there was one person
Like
in
a
the middle?
triangular. Like, that'd be funny.
Oh yeah, the rule of 3 was
No
like a
space
huge
out
thing in
long,
this.
so
in this
There would be
movie.
How
there
so,
would be no
Gar?
Master of Disguise movie.
Oh, how so?
Oh my god, they wouldn't have
I'm
the
willing to
turtle
live
club.
with that.
They wouldn't
Uh,
have the turtle joke, so they wouldn't have made the movie.
So Lane, when we passed by that cactus club place and you said they have to have a cactus in there, all I could think is, am I not cactusy
Cactus.
enough for the cactus club?
Lane, sorry,
Cactus,
Gar, what were you
cactus.
saying? The rule of 3?
The rule of 3 with Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. Like, there's the one fight in Antarctica,
Yeah.
the fight in Mexico, and
Yeah.
then the final fight in Boston.
Yes.
And where it's like, okay, that's pretty cool. Like,
It was the best thing to have ever happened to Boston in a long time.
They're
Yes.
getting completely toned.
I'm just picturing like some like Shelby Boston guy just looking at, hey, get him, Godzilla!
hey, I'll get him with my
Hey,
base.
I'm walking here!
I'll get him with my baseball bat.
Don't worry, Godzilla, I'll help you. And he's just like,
They're throwing
Yeah, they're smacking him up.
they're throwing trash at King Ghidorah.
and I'll say this too, it was funny, because there's a scene where I think it was Ghidorah, where Ghidorah knocks down a Dunkin' Donuts sign.
yeah.
And now here's the funny thing. Usually I hate product placement in all its forms. This one was fine because it was so quick. But as Boston has always said, it'd be weirder if we saw a shot of Boston and there wasn't a Dunkin' Donuts sign.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
it's Tim Hortons down there.
Yeah.
Is it?
First in
Yeah.
Transformers, in the new Power Rangers movie.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
there was-
That's Krispy Kreme.
Oh, yeah, that was
Don't
Krispy
trigger
Kreme.
yourself with the Krispy
Oh my
Kreme.
god, it's
I don't give a
different,
shit.
it's the 2 universes, the Dunkin' Donuts universe and the Krispy Kreme universe.
Oh no.
The 2 Toku
No, but
They
universes.
say
Yeah.
Godzilla founded Dunkin' Donuts.
That's just honestly that what you said, so that is the whole thing with product placement these days. In a lot of these cases, it'd be weirder if it wasn't.
No, and
Yeah,
again,
we're gonna get like a
the fact that
Biker Mice
the fact
from
that
Mars
Dunkin'
movie
Donuts
with
wasn't
Tim
part
Hortons.
of the plot.
Honestly, I
Yeah.
would love
There wasn't
to
a Dunkin'
see
Donuts
one.
kiosk on the Argo, you know?
Like, Yaxin
A
Destroyer
live-action
wasn't
one
stuck
where
in
they're,
a
like-
Dunkin'
Like
Donuts.
realistic mouse headed
Or like she wasn't like hiding
Ooh,
like the
even better,
orca
Street
in
Sharks.
a Dunkin' Donuts or
Street
something.
Sharks actually has been in development hell for a while.
Oh,
my God.
fuck. I want to.
Considering doing a live action Street
Jocelyn.
Sharks.
Wait, the circle that was in the on the orca screen, it was in a circle. Shape of a
Oh my
donut.
god, you're right.
Dunkin'
Lane.
Donuts!
Oh my god!
Placement to the plot!
Anyways,
so yeah, people, King of the Monsters, go see it.
it's good.
It's fucking great.
It's good time. I've said this 100 times before. I was looking more forward to this than I was Endgame, and they're both great.
Mhm.
I'll say, people, I say this as a joke. Don't worry. People say, "Sel, what drives you in life? Like, what makes you get out of bed in the morning and say, I'm gonna tackle this today?" And I go, "Well, Godzilla vs. Kong comes out next year." What about that? No, that's it.
Yeah,
That's the only thing I got
like
to live
the-
for.
me-
Just after that, it's like,
After that, I'll be fine.
Lane, what are the things you look forward to for the rest of the year? Well, Gears 5 and Star Wars Episode 9.
There you go.
That's it for me. What about new Kamen Rider?
me, it's gotta find a new job.
You will.
You'll get it, dude.
I'm also
Hey.
kind of upset that my place my work shut down right as Godzilla was coming out. I was
know.
so
I would have
hoping.
been down to go see
No,
it at your work
No,
again.
I was so hoping that I could meet like casuals going to go see Godzilla and be like, "Oh wow, that didn't really focus a whole lot." It's like, yeah, that's every Godzilla movie.
I'll say this: it was great to see that our theater was packed. A lot of kids.
Yeah, a
That
lot
was
of
great.
teens.
A lot of families. A lot of people that looked like they grew up with Godzilla movies and were trying to raise their kids right.
Are you just saying that because the majority of the audience was Asian?
No.
I'm
I'm saying that because
we were in square one.
The majority.
That's not racist.
No,
Region
region.
at Scarborough and you
That too.
No, I was
Skinny.
saying that there was a lot of two parents with a bunch of kids people
Yeah.
in there. Yeah.
You mean the ones that kicked the back of my chair all thing, and the one who kicked me in the back of the head on his way out?
You
of the
are
theater?
still here, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
Anyways,
I'm glad that I got to go see it with
I'm glad
you
we
all.
did this.
I
as
dug
well.
it. I
I
dug
really
this
am.
flick like crazy. Like it's a great flick. I'm gonna see it again.
Like
I'm very curious though.
Yeah.
I want to know if this was just because we saw it in IMAX. Like, I want to know because I'm seeing it for sure with another person at some point. And be like, okay, is the camera not in focus? There were a lot of times
Yeah.
where it's like, what the f-
No, I can agree with you.
When I was-
There are some scenes
Yes.
where things are blurred.
Yeah.
Here, and look, I'll wait till I see it again to know if it was the theater or the movie. But when I'm looking back to make sure the shutter focus is open all the way, we have a problem.
Yeah, I'm glad that because at first it was originally just going to be Lane and I going to go see Godzilla in IMAX.
Hey,
But
let's
you-
make a Facebook event.
But then I was like, well, I know Cell likes Godzilla. Let's see if he wants to come.
And you said it out loud around me.
Yeah,
and
and
I
then-
went, I'd like to.
And
come to
then
that.
and I'm like, you know what, Paul wouldn't mind seeing that. And then it's like, all right, the four of us will go see. If we're gonna do it, we might as well invite everyone.
It became a, you idiots, we all want to see Godzilla.
Yeah.
Any whoosins, I think we should wrap this up.
Yep. Thank you all for listening.
Go see Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Please
Long
do.
may he reign.
Please
Long
do.
Yeah,
live
it
the
was
king.
good.
Give
But
them your money so they can make more of these.
I'll say this, though. There is a contender for a new king. And I dearly hope, that he wins.
But what is a king?
God. God.
What is a god to a non-believer?
What is a king to a god?
Yeah.
Look, man, there was a headline with that line in it in the credits.
Oh,
Just
uh,
saying.
All right. Schwa for now, everyone.
Why?
Thank you for listening.
Schwa.